Another year, another bowl loss for Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. Why can't Michigan win bowl games under Jim Harbaugh? Is it that they can't? Or they just haven't had much luck? Things started well, bowl-wise, for the Michigan Harbaugh era. A solid 9-3 first season ended in an absolute beatdown of the Florida Gators in Orlando. I was there. My flight may have gotten canceled and I had to drive all night, but I was there. 41-7 and a great cap to the 2015 season. What made it even sweeter is that I went to the game with my coworker who was a Florida fan. 2016 built on the momentum of the previous year. A really strong season for the Wolverines ended in absolute heartbreak in Columbus. I don't need to rehash that because us Michigan fans have replayed the what ifs 1,000 times in our mind. Instead of a likely playoff appearance, Michigan drew Florida State in the Orange Bowl. Heisman candidate Jabril Peppers sat out the game with a hamstring injury. The Wolverines started poorly, and then Jake Butt tore his ACL in the second quarter. Michigan did claw back and took the lead with under 2 minutes left in the game, but then they allowed a 66-yard kickoff return to set up the game-winning touchdown for the Seminoles. So close. It was a sucky loss to cap off a disappointing end of the season. Michigan lost steam and a lot of talent going into the next year, 2017. They went 8-4 and had an Outback Bowl appearance against the South Carolina Gamecocks. I didn't go to that game, but I did go to the previous Outback Bowl against South Carolina. What happened in that game? Oh yeah, the Clowney hit that we had to watch 4,000 times before this rematch. This was Michigan's chance to get revenge on the Gamecocks, and things looked good. For about 2.5 quarters, Michigan went up 19-3 with 5:42 left in the third quarter, and then proceeded to blow the game by getting outscored 23-0 for the rest of the game. Michigan went 5-5 in their last 10 games of the season, including losing the last 3. 2018 saw the addition of Shea Patterson, which gave Michigan fans a lot of hope after the days of Wilton Spate, John O'Korn, and Brandon Peters. But Patterson never quite lived up to what we thought he'd be. He was an improvement, but he just missed some important throws, especially on deep balls, and that really hurt Michigan. The Wolverines did start 2018 at 10-1, and were actually favored to beat Ohio State in the shoe, but that definitely did not happen. Another disappointing end of the season ended with Michigan tucking its tail for a lesser bowl game than they had hoped for. This time, another matchup with Florida in the Peach Bowl, and it was ugly. Michigan was outscored 28-5 in the second half of the game and lost 41-15. Many narratives were starting to be created about the Wolverines and Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh can't beat his rivals. He can't win the big game. And now, Michigan can't win bowl games. That continued into 2019, which followed the same blueprint. A pretty good first 11 games, followed by a blowout loss against Ohio State and a bowl loss. This time, Michigan lost to Mac Jones and Alabama in the Citrus Bowl. Michigan actually had the lead at the half from a 57-yard Quinn Nordine field goal, but that was the last points that Michigan scored in the game. Another second half collapse and a 35-16 loss. Michigan had chances in this game, but Shea Patterson missed several open receivers with overthrows. Meanwhile, Mac Jones was putting the ball on the numbers of, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, Henry Ruggs, and Jalen Waddle. Are you freaking kidding me with that receiver group? Oh, and they had Najee Harris too. Cool. Michigan's bowl performances were trending the wrong way. Then 2020 happened, and the program seemed to be in trouble. But Harbaugh stayed, and Michigan has had an incredible turnaround the past couple seasons. 2-0 against Ohio State, 2 Big Ten championships, 2 playoff appearances. Narratives about Jim Harbaugh have completely changed, except for one, the bowl game losses. In 2021, Michigan got destroyed by Georgia, but to be honest, anyone not named Alabama was going to get destroyed by Georgia. The loss definitely hurt, but Michigan cleared some major hurdles in 2021. On to 2022 and a magical undefeated season, a win in Columbus for the first time since 2000, and a playoff matchup against TCU where Michigan was favored, and most people thought they'd win the game. Donovan Edwards ripped off a 54-yard run on the first play from scrimmage, and we're all feeling good, but then Michigan got too cute at the goal line and scored nothing. Then they gave up a touchdown. Then they threw a pick six, and we knew the Wolverines were in trouble. Michigan's defense was such a strength all year, but gave up almost 500 yards of offense to TCU. Despite some great comeback efforts, Michigan never led the game and got bounced in the semifinals for the second straight year. Michigan is 1-6 in bowl games under Jim Harbaugh, and the one win was in year 1. So the question is, what's the problem with Michigan in bowl games? Are they cursed? Can they just not win them? It's pretty crazy that Michigan has only won 2 bowl games since the 2007 season. As frustrating as it is, we Michigan fans just have to be patient. It definitely felt like Michigan may never beat Ohio State again, but look what's happened the past 2 seasons. The Wolverines have definitely been building something special. 2 straight trips to the playoffs is pretty incredible, even if the end result has been disappointing. We have to remember, 2022 was J.J. McCarthy's first year as a starter. It was Jesse Minter's first year as Michigan's DC. Sharon Moore's first year as co-OC, and now he takes over as the sole OC. Things are only going to improve, especially with the ability to add so many instant impact players from the transfer portal, which I broke down in this video on the screen. The playoff wins will come, we just have to be patient. Go Blue.